So recently, I finished my nursing school, and I just wanted to tell you something about nursing school and the challenges, the good things, the bad things about going to nursing school, especially as an elder student. Because sometimes if you want to change your career, you need also to accept the challenge, accept the problems which come with going back to school, because definitely there are so many challenges with that whole process, and you need to be prepared before you start the process, because it's not an easy thing to do, but it's doable. So if you are new here, you should know my name is Jackson Mwindi. I did some videos sometimes back in 2021 when I decided to go back to nursing school and try to change my career into something else after working in another career for like 10 years. So the first challenges you will encounter as an elder student is finding that you are the eldest in that class, and by that I mean that you might find that some of the colleagues, some of the students you're in class with are you're almost doubling their age, and that is quite an heavy lift, especially if you are not well prepared for that. And the other thing which comes with that is that. You find that most of these young people, they've just come from school, from high school just the other day, and their minds are fresh. And that becomes a big challenge because for nursing school or for any medicine related courses, you'll need to do something related to sciences, biology, chemistry, and some mathematics. And you'd find that these young brains, young students, they are better off prepared to handle those subjects better than you, unless you again you need to you commit yourself a lot so that you catch up, because it might have been like for my case. It had taken me more than 15 years since I finished my secondary school education. And to be truthful, to be realistic, is that by that time, you will have forgotten a lot of things you studied in secondary school education. So basically, that was one of the challenges. Other challenges come along the way, and sometimes they're related to finances, because obviously you are not working. And most of nursing school, especially where I come from, you need to study full time. There's no part-time school for basic, what we call entry level nursing school. And the whole idea of changing a career might be to uplift your financial status, but at that point you will have to struggle with challenges with money. Talking about money, you need to realize that if you are going to school as an elder student, my chances are that you might be having children, other responsibilities. You are paying school fees for your children, maybe your brothers you are paying school fees for, and those responsibilities will not stop because you've gone for nursing school. So what I wanted to say is that the responsibilities you had before you decided to join that school of yours, or nursing school, will continue to be there. They'll not stop, and they will be expecting you to foot bills if you are paying rent somewhere, if you are paying anything. All that expenses will not stop because you've decided to go back to school to study full time, and that is something you need to prepare for. So I'll talk about that in the section where I'll talk about the planning, the preparation you need to do as someone wants to change a career, mid 30s, mid 40s. You need to do a lot of financial planning, because your family needs to be in the picture, because a lot they'll not stop living, so to speak, because you've decided to go back to school. But basically it's doable. A change is possible. You just need to be prepared. You just need to be ready for the challenges, because challenges will be there. It's not a case. It's not a question of if. It's a question of when they'll be there, because definitely they'll be there in the journey. So another big challenge in that journey is that you'll need to stop some of the projects you are doing before you decided to go back to change your career, because most projects are money intensive, and if you go back to be a full-time student, you'll not be able to afford some of the things you are doing, some of the projects you are carrying. If you are building a house somewhere, if you are buying a land somewhere, if you are planning to do something else, those are some of the plans you'll need to stop once you decide to go back to school to do any type of career change. So in my case, I stopped some projects, some building projects I was carrying on. I had to pause for some time. And I usually say you can commit sometime. You can decide to commit 3 or 4 years of your time before that time. You can stop some of your projects and decide these 3 years I'll be in school. I'll just stop doing this and that, so that I focus all my time and money into building this career I'm building. So the good thing with the career change is that Sometimes back, I was watching a video whereby someone told me they were saying that they usually retire after every 4 years in the career they are in and change into something else. But most people of boomers in the millennium, they usually go for they usually do their life or their lifetime in one career, and sometimes it becomes very very boring. The other thing is that you if you decide to change your career, I usually advise people change into a career which can propel you into if God gives you the grace to live up to the age of 80, 90 years, change into a career that you can do up until that time. If you're in a career whereby you cannot transition, you cannot properly go into your 80s and 90s doing that, if it's possible, you need to change into a career which you can do when you are of that age, because definitely we are getting older and we need to prepare for that. So the good thing with nursing, and you'll pardon me if this is not your bread and butter. The good thing is nursing is that you can do this work up until you are 70 years, whereby you can open your own small clinic. You can get into employment. You can take shift here and there. You can change your employer, which is not a privilege, which is enjoyed by people in other careers or in other sectors, because nursing is always in demand, and uh, the prospects that don't seem to be changing anytime soon, because the truth is that we feed badly. Our diets are so bad that such that we are likely to get unwell, and that is where the need for medical courses, or nursing or medicine, the need for those courses will not be declining anytime soon, and that is the projections we have. There is another question I usually get from my followers, asking how much should you budget if you are planning to go back to nursing school, or you are planning to change your career, and that entirely will depend on very many different factors. But in my case, it was I did a rough estimate of how much you'll require to be able to go through nursing school. That is for people who are watching this video from Kenya or are Kenyans. But I'll try as much as possible to give you this perspective in terms of US dollars, if you need to convert that to US dollars to get a feel of how much you might need to go through nursing school. And in my case, the tuition fees was around 240,000 Kenya shillings, and that will loosely translate into around 2000 US dollars or thereabout, and you can do your own calculation and know how much that is in your home currency. But that was my tuition fees, and I usually say, if you want to get a feel of how much the other costs will be for you to pursue that course, you need to double that to multiply by two. That includes living expenses, food, transport. You should do a rough estimate of around 5,000 or 6,000 US dollars as the cost for the 3 years you need to do your diploma in nursing. There are other miscellaneous costs, so obviously you need to budget for that. But basically, this is not money you are required to pay at once, especially for government colleges in Kenya. You can pay in installments in terms of semesters, and one semester in Kenya, especially for government-sponsored teaching and medical teaching institutions, is around 40,000 or 50,000 Kenya shillings or thereabouts. There are so many different private or mission-based nursing schools or medical training colleges which you can join, and the difference in terms of finances is not much. You just need to budget. You just need to be doing something on the side. You need to, if it's possible, you can also consider saving some money before you join these schools, so that it will be almost a smooth sell, because the challenges definitely will be there in terms of money, and it's not an easy thing, but again, let me reiterate that it's doable. And as I told you, going through nursing school, you cannot work at the same time. At the same time, you're in school, because it requires a lot of your concentration. It requires much of your time, and you'll find that you'll find yourself having to do 12 hours of study for you to be able to pass the exams. Because again, nursing school is not a joke. It's not a light lift, so to speak. It's a heavy lift. So you need to prepare yourself emotionally, financially. You prepare your family that if they were used to going for a vacation at some time, it will not be easy. In terms of challenges with with age, you'll also find other people of almost the same age as you, even sometimes older. So that will be a little bit encouraging you to continue studying, because there are also other people trying to change careers, and that is the nature of life. Nowadays, people are changing careers at whatever age. You'll find people at the age of around 40, 50, even sometimes 60, in class with you trying to change a career or trying to get that certificate to be able to start a business. So you need to be directional, you need to be encouraged, because again, it's not easy, but it's doable. I usually get questions about Jackson. How were you able to pull through nursing school while you had a family and a lot of other expenses waiting for you to sort? How did you pull through nursing school? And I usually say I decided to start doing online work, and this includes making videos here and there and trying to monetize. The whole videography or video making process, and that is how I came up with this YouTube channel. I know it hasn't been a big channel, but I was able to sell a few services here and there, and also through TikTok, and that is how I was able to earn some money to support me through nursing skill, on top of having a supportive spouse, and also my savings, which I had before I decided to delve into nursing school. But it's doable. You just need to plan well, and sometimes you might not be able to plan the whole 3 years. Sometimes you'll plan on the go. So don't put a lot of pressure on yourself, saying that you want to plan the whole 3 years, how it will be a smooth sail. Sometimes you just need to you just need to lose sight of the shore, so for you to know how to swim, so to speak. So just get into that career. Don't overthink, and that is not to mean that you don't need to plan, but don't try to overplan, because that might also paralyze you along the way. Thank you. The other thing you need to think about when you are joining that college you are planning to change your career to, there is the power of role models or career coaches. And you shall say, before you do that, you need to have someone you are following in their footsteps, because it will be a big motivation for you, because there are a lot of things which are likely to demotivate you along the way. So someone will hold your hand, emotionally speaking, someone who will help you to think through, someone who will help you to see what is ahead of you, what is at the other hand of once you finish that course of yours. And in my case, I had different people, some of them who are different people who are guiding me, who are helping me to understand how to change their careers. And I usually watch videos by one Ali Abdal, and Ali Abdal is someone who changed their career. They went into medical school. They started working as a doctor in the UK, and then some point Ali Abdal changed from being a doctor to a full-time YouTuber. And I usually watch this journey. I usually watch his journey through the 5 or 6 years he's been doing videos in YouTube, and encouraging us to change from one career to another. And nobody should be stuck in one career for their entire life, because you are not born a doctor, you are not born a nurse, you are not born a teacher. You can change your career if you find yourself uncomfortable, because sometimes you might find yourself uncomfortable in one career or another. Why? Another question, Jackson, why did you decide to change your career into nursing? And there are different things there are different answers to this question, because one thing, I was uncomfortable where I was working, and I decided the only way I can change this is by going back to college. Some people discouraged me from going back to college, bearing in mind that I had so many other commitments, and I was growing this career, but deep down in my heart I was not comfortable, and I definitely needed a change, and that is why I went into nursing school. So once, if you find yourself discouraged, look for a mentor, look for someone who will encourage you along the way, look for someone who is in that career. And definitely I had so many friends of mine who are in the nursing field, encouraging me and pulling me when I was so discouraged.